Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 15 of the idle game. Now today, as promised, we're going to make the settings screen. So to make a start, we are going to go into our scene up here, open up the canvas, and I'm going to go into buttons, right click. I'm just going to duplicate the click me button and rename this to settings. Next, I'm going to open this up and change the text to settings. You lot may have a settings icon or like picture that you want to use. If so, go ahead and use that, but I don't, so I won't be doing that. I'm going to change this text here to be the full size of this here. Well, not really the full size, but roughly. Then I'm just going to go and put this and locate this right here. Now do what you need to do and where you need to do these things, by the way everyone. I'm just kind of messing about here, and I'm going to make this a nice red colour as well. And it's going to be white text. Now I'm just going to adjust this text once more because I don't really like the way that's gone there. There we go. And lovely, or not really lovely, it doesn't look very nice, but I made off camera change what my game looks like, but I don't know, I'm not sure at the moment yet. But now that we've done that, we are gonna make a new C# script to create C# script, and we're gonna call this settings. Let's double click that and open it up. Now next episode I think we're gonna get started on notations, but I'm not sure, we'll get into that. Anyway, now that this is loaded up, we are not going to need our void update or start. And we're not going to need using system.collections or system.collections.generic. Only Unity engine. I don't think we need .ui, so we'll be alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a public. Actually, this doesn't need to be accessed from anywhere else. So have we already done this? Yeah. So last episode I explained serialized fields. So we're going to be going with that. So we're going to make a serialize field, like what we've done right here, serialize field, and then a private, because we don't need to access it from any other script. And the serialize field, once again, just as a refresher, so we can edit it in Unity even if it's private, basically. And then we're going to make a game object, and we're going to call it, let's just call it settings menu or something like that. Now we just make a public void open settings, and we're going to in here just say settings menu dot set active true, and we'll duplicate this. We also actually what we can do is make these expression bodies, so we can remove these braces here and make it equals and bigger than, and there we go. And we'll do the exact same here, public void close settings equals sign bigger than for an expression body, settings menu dot set active false. Save that, there we go, lovely. Now we're going to go back into Unity, and we're going to go into, we're going to right click, and we are going to go to UI, and I'm going to make an image, and I'm going to call this settings. Now I'm also going to click on this rect transform and the little anchor bit here, click that, holding Alt and pressing the bottom right button. That will scale it to the screen size. Now I am not going to be making an image for this. If you don't have a source image you want to use, go ahead, use it for your background, but I don't, so I'm just going to make it a nice kind of grey colour. I might also make it a tad bit transparent, I don't know, just so you can kind of see what's going on in the background a little bit, with your money increasing, but not that much. Now, let's start by disabling this, and we're also going to go into our scripts and create another new empty game object, and this is going to be called Sorry if you can hear my dogs barking in the background there. We're going to call this one settings handler, and reset the transform on that. You don't actually need to reset the transform on these empty game objects here, but it is just, you know, useful to get into the habit of doing it. Anyway, we're now going to drag our settings script onto this, and we are now going to go into our buttons, click on our settings, and drag in on our on click event, drag in our settings handler, and where it says no function, click settings and click on we can't do that because we are silly. I know why. I don't think zero references. Yeah, we can't have this, the expression body. We just kind of have to have braces, I think. So, right, replace the little arrow thing like that with braces. I think that's alright. And then if we save that, it should work. Settings, there, yes. And then we got open settings here. Now inside of the actual settings screen, I'm going to right click, add a new UI, a button. I'm going to call this close. I'm going to get the text, I'm just going to make that X, a capital X, an uppercase X. And I'm going to make the text completely white as it can go. I'm going to click best fit, 300 as the max size or whatever. And we're going to go to this button here. I'm going to make the width 500, that's a bit much. I'm going to make the width 250, that's a bit much. I'm going to make the width 100 and the height 100. And I'm going to make the colour as red as it can go. And there we go, now we've got like a little X here. Put that top right, and there we go. Now you could anchor this top right. That might be a good idea. Yeah, really, it's probably better to actually, yeah. So just anchor that top right, so then it doesn't scale around the screen in loads of different directions. Now, if we go to this close, click add on the on click this little plus sign here, and we're going to drag in our settings handler, and you guessed it, this one's going to be no function settings. This is, as you guessed, hopefully close settings. Now, if we start by closing the settings, because we don't want them open when we start, and press play, we should see, if we press settings, nothing happens, because we need to go in our settings handler and drag in our settings we need to drag in our settings menu into the empty thing here. Now, when we press settings, this will pop up and we can close it. Now that's a bit dull and boring. Let's get an animation in here so it kind of slides up, because that's what we want. So let's make our first animation of the series. So click settings. Down here where you've got project and console, click these three dots if you don't already have animation, and click add tab, and then we want animation. Then click on create with the settings selected and make a new folder called, this is going to be called, what are we going to call it? Let's just call it animations. Now inside this animation script, I like to have two new scripts, one called animations again, and the other called controllers, so we can kind of organise our controllers and animations. Anyway, we're going to save it into the assets and then animations folder, not any of these two that we just made. And we're not going to call it no animation, we're going to call it settings. And just call it settings. Next, we are going to create, what would be the plan? So we could actually, do you know what we can do? Forget what I've just said. Go into animations and yeah, I didn't even make those two new folders anyway. Yeah, I was going to say, forget what I said. Drag this settings animation, click on it, turn off loop time so it doesn't loop, and drag it into the controller here. Or don't, because we can't. Never mind. You know what, that's fine, that is fine. Now, anyway, let's make this about 30 frames, because, so click here, this is, by the way, this is number of frames. This samples, I believe, is how many frames per second. So if you typed in 120 here and then put 60 in there, it's going to be half a second, I believe. I believe the samples is the number of frames per second. So if we typed in, 360 or 1000 frames per second, but I like to just keep the samples at 60. I'm pretty sure most people, I think you have samples here. If not, you may not have samples here, but I don't remember how to change that. So you might just want to look that up. But you don't really need the samples. All you need is the number, which has no writing next to it. So I'm going to make this 30 frames because I don't really want it to be a full second, to be honest. So yeah, 30 frames, and I'm going, because that's half a second, and I'm going to click record. Also, actually, before I start, I'm going to go to 0 and press record, and I'm going to make the settings screen underneath. So if I quickly turn it on so you can kind of see, I've just dragged it from up here down to underneath the screen here, so you can't see it. Now I'm going to turn that back off again and click the record button again to stop recording. And now I'm going to go to 30 frames, click record, and make it visible again so I can see it. Drag it into the screen so it fits the screen, or you can just go here, left 0, top 0, right 0, bottom 0, and turn the settings off again. Now if we click done, we've now got a little animation. There we go. That makes sense if I use proper English. So that is settings. Now we need a way of closing the settings, so I'm actually going to rename this from settings to open settings, and then we're going to click here with the settings selected, click here and click create new clip to be close settings. Now we are going to go, now that was weird because in my folders it says we've got the folder there for the animation controller, but in Unity it's not there. That's strange. Oh well. So we're going to once again press record here, and it's just going to be at the top, stop recording. Actually what we can do is click record. Actually there's literally no point, we may as well just go down to 30, click record again, and drag it down here, like so, and stop recording. So there we go, we've now got two little animations. Now we need to sort them out, so click on close settings and turn off loop time, and just double check that both the open settings and close settings have no loop time, which in my case they don't. Now we're going to create a new folder called animations, animations 1. Alright, so it has made the folder, I just can't see it. There we go, now that I've deleted it, they've appeared. That's better. So I'm going to drag these two animations into the animations, and I'm going to grab this controller and drag it into controllers. I'm then going to open this, and I'm going to, I'm going to first of all turn off, so I'm going to drag this, so what would be the best way of doing this? It'd sort of be, it would like play the animation on entry, so it'll play settings, the close button you don't really need an animation for. I'm trying to think of the best way of doing this without using parameters. I know. What we're going to do, we're going to delete the close settings animation. Sorry for just wasted your time, we're not going to need it. And we're going to remove that there. Now this entry here should be alright, that should now work. I'm just going to, yeah, no, that should be alright. Now if we go here and simply press play. There we go, press settings and it'll open. Because the animation only plays when you because the animation only plays when you start it. So there we go, we got it there. lovely. Would you look at that? We got a little animation now. Sorry if that was a bit more complicated. I made that sound more complicated than it needed to be. But basically what we've got is an animation. The way it works is Unity will automatically grab something from one scene and move it to the next. You're very limited to what you can do in Unity animations, but you can do some good stuff. So that's basically it for this episode. So I hope you lot enjoyed. I'm going to file and save really quick. So sorry, thanks for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please leave a like and comment if there's anything you need help with. And if you're enjoying all our tutorials, make sure to subscribe. Thank you lot, and goodbye.